Hey everybody, my name's Adam and I'm from Replayability, and I'd like to talk about something today, specifically the Virtual Console. Recently I've noticed a few articles that have pointed out that the prices on the Virtual Console are too high. And I'd like to argue against that, because I think that's absolutely not the case, particularly from a retro gamer's point of view. So in this video I'm going to cover three main points. The first is rarity of games. The second is the convenience factor that the Virtual Console provides. And the third is obviously the price. So I'm going to go over a few games that could be found on the Virtual Console service that are pretty darn expensive as physical copies and that you can easily afford on the Virtual Console. So let's get to it. Point number one, rarity. Game rarity. The fact of the matter is, a good number of the games on the Wii Virtual Console are pretty darn rare, and they're actually pretty hard to find. So it would be quite difficult, for example, to go out there and find a copy of Earthbound. I rarely even see one. Whereas you could download that on your Wii U and pretty much just play it right away. No fuss, no muss. And the fact of the matter is that retro gaming and retro game collecting is starting to become a little bit of a fad. It's sort of hip to own retro games and to buy retro games. And so obviously as people buy those games, it's going to drive the price and also the rarity of games upwards. Dos. The convenience factor of the Virtual Console is through the roof. For one, if you're talking about the Virtual Console, you probably already own the Wii or the Wii U, and so you don't have to go out there and find a Super Nintendo, the hookups, the controllers, any of that stuff that you need to play the game. You can just download it and play it pretty much right away. You've also got added features, like obviously save states are one of the big additions to the Virtual Console. And those are a big perk for some people. Off-TV play, too, is also a big deal for the Wii U, especially for people who have large families that are always tying up the TV, and then you can play something like Super Mario World or Super Metroid or something like that while the TV is being used, and that's friggin' great. My third and final point, which is probably the big one, is price. Obviously, people complain a lot about the price of the Virtual Console, and I'm going to prove right now that it's not expensive at all. So, right here I've got three games, and I'm going to go through them and tell you the price on the Virtual Console and their price as physical cartridges. So, first game, Chrono Trigger, one of the most popular RPGs ever. You can find that on the Virtual Console for $7.99. It's still there. You can download and play it right now. If you want a physical copy like that, that'll run you 81 bucks. Yeah, that's a huge difference. But it gets even crazier. Second game, one of my favorite shoot-em-ups, R-Type 3, The Third Lightning. That game was actually delisted from the Virtual Console, but it was there at one point, so we're still going to count it. And it was $7.99. If you want to find a copy of that right now, that's $101. So, again, huge difference. And the third game I'm going to bring up is Wild Guns. Bit of labelware there. Seems to be a thing with this game. That game is 185 bucks as a physical copy. Whereas again, you can get that on the Virtual Console for $7.99. So the Virtual Console is not expensive. It is in fact saving you a whole bunch of money. But how much money is it actually saving you in total? Well, I've done the math for you. If you downloaded every game for the Super Nintendo on the Wii and the Wii U Virtual Console, that would run you $602.25. Which, admittedly, is pretty darn pricey. But if you instead wanted to go out there and find physical copies of every single one of those games, that would cost you about 4 times as much. So you're looking at $2,318.20. So in the grand scheme of things, you're not paying nearly as much as if you wanted to go find physical copies. And that's great. You get that actual console experience as close to as possible for a fraction of the price, and that's awesome. You don't have to worry about finding a game, which is super tough sometimes. You don't have to worry about extra equipment, and you get a few extra perks as well. So that's great. Virtual Console is an awesome service, and the games on there are definitely not overpriced because these things are becoming rare. They're collector's items, and they're only going to get harder to find. So, either snatch them up now as they are, as physical copies, or use the Virtual Console. It's a great service. That's pretty much all I wanted to cover today. So if you like this video, then like, rate, subscribe, check out our channel, which is in the links at the bottom, and hopefully I'll see you guys soon. Take it easy.